What's something useful you actually learned from porn? There was a porn with the couple having sex in a shower. I noticed the tile on one end of the shower alcove was very narrow and tapered from top to bottom. That would have been a real bitch to cut, so when I do my showers, I make sure to center the tile so that each end has as wide a partial tile as possible. It's way better and easier to cut. Never assume your volume is off, always double check and turn it off manually before starting a video. A guy in my class in year 8 learnt this the hard way. Our school had given us all laptops to do schoolwork on, and we could take them home. Also at the time, they didn't have any truly effective way to monitor our computers or block websites while we were at home. So this dude took his laptop home, connected it to the home Wi-Fi, watched porn, closed the laptop lid, putting it to sleep, and then brought it back to school the following day, only to open the lid with the volume on full and his porn now playing loud. Embarrassed, he slammed his lid, completely breaking it, and ran out of the classroom. He couldn't close the porn or really do anything due to the broken screen, so he had to take it to the department as is to have the screen fixed. He got in trouble as it could document all the porn he was watching. The following year, All Out Laptop got their fancy spyware, and the IT department would from then on block websites at home, receive alerts for keywords we typed, and could see reports on everything on Out laptops. And I know they could, because staff trusted me for some reason, and I got to hear all kinds of juicy gossip. Maybe this will disappear, or maybe I want it to, but believe it or not, I learned that the size of my testicles were not normal. I went to a doctor, he verified that there was no testicular development. So for health reasons I had it removed to avoid future problems like testicular cancer. Could it be said that porn saved me from health problems? Maybe. One time I watched this video and the dude ended up with a prolapsed. Yeah, I was horrified, and I was horrified for him. So I had to Google how do they put anus back in hole. Turns out, if you show up to the ear with a rosebud where your fart box should be, the doctor may just pour cafeteria sugar packets on the exposed part, the sugar sucking the moisture up, and somehow it just goes back. How is this relevant? Now when I make strawberry jam, I slice and lightly coat the strawberries in sugar and set them in a colander over a bowl. The sugar pulls out most of the excess moisture. I reduce that to get a thicker jam. Where the clitoris is. Dunno who it was, but I watched some vids as a teen, maybe 16 years ago now, and it detailed how to finger a woman and find her G-spot without fail. Talked about using the pad of your fingernail hygiene and clipping, all that good stuff. Also did the same for the clit. Watched another with a woman who talked through and then demonstrated a prostate massage. Both vids have served me well. Wish educational porn was easier to find. I'm too embarrassed to say this, but I come from conservative family. Talking about ed is a no-no. I learned how to put on condoms from porn. Faking an orgasm does not sound attractive. I refuse to fake an orgasm. You either take the W or nothing at all with me, Lemfel. I think all women should stop faking it. I think both sides as a whole are terrible at pleasing their partners. More people should be honest with their partner and see about getting what they want. It's a win-win. If you don't agree, then think about it like this. Why not? The more practice you get with your partner is more S you're having each week, month. And don't guys on average like having more S? Yes they do. And the gals hopefully get what they want in the way they want. Win-win. But I do call it the other way too. A lot of women could also use improvement. Don't get angry, ladies. If your man isn't communicating, it's not your fault. You're not mind readers. Moral of the story: both sides need to be open, honest, and not shy with each other. And you both get better. That your heart is approximately the size of your fist, but I can't put my heart in your ass. That my pussy was normal. Spent most of teens terrified that my pussy was weird. It changed during puberty in a way no one really explained to me, and I thought there must be something wrong going on down there. It wasn't till my first boyfriend played me some VHS porn, and I saw a bunch of vaginas, that I felt the relief of knowing that I was relatively normal down there. That I prefer amateur more than professional, and it's getting kind of hard to find real, amateur stuff like just two people filming on a whim after a night out. There's two factors as to why. Firstly, many sites now require ID verification, which is good, but a lot of people just won't bother. A lot of classic clips are by of unknown people. and were just repeatedly reposted. Second one is OnlyFans etc. Now, of amateur is more independent professional. I have mixed feelings. On one hand, there is a lot more people doing porn now, but the quantity hasn't brought quality. I kind of miss old Reddit porn subs from like 2014, where there were a lot fewer posters, but some really good stuff rather than generic images spammed to 20 subs. And again, a lot of the top posts from then would no longer be allowed since the subject isn't around to prove their identity to mod. What the typical ejaculation should look like. Mine was very clear cloudy, but still clear compared to what I was seeing. Turns out, I'm sterile. Awesome. You can get a leg cramp from having S. I was watching a porn with my ex, and the guy somehow got a Charlie horse in his calf muscle and screamed in pain while his female partner watched in horror and started laughing. That guys are annoyingly quiet when they come. Are you telling me it doesn't feel good? I want to hear you moan and cry out just like the ladies, damn it. That I need to spread the major lips gently and touch the different textures of the female genitalia with my tongue instead of directly putting my tongue inside a vagina. Words can really hurt you. I had a woman start talking dirty, but started calling me the viewer worthless and pathetic. My penis went inside my stomach, and I just rolled over and looked at the comments. Seemed like other men felt the same way. I've talked to submissive guys that like that stuff, but as a sub myself female, couldn't do that. Like I don't wanna insult people or be insulted during psi time, or ever really. I've never gotten the fun of it. As a woman it was kind of wholesome to see how diverse male preferences were. No matter the body type, hair color, or age, you could be sure there was a category about it, and countless men who enjoyed exactly this feature. Made you a bit more confident about yourself. Actually, I learned some valuable skills from a porn about women trying to survive on a deserted island. They made a fire-caught fish, fended off a tiger, and made a shelter, all while completely nude and riding each other. At the end of the film, they managed to get the attention of a ship captain, who proceeded to tell them that he was actually a pirate and they could board him and then the ship. What a great way for a 12-year-old to learn how to survive in the wild. Wish I could find that film. I had the best dad. Edit. I remember something else. They used berries they found that were not edible for them to attract animals to a snare trap. They made from pieces of the only clothes they had, a wire from a bra and a piece of nylon cord from a bikini bottom. One of the girls was really shy and they had to wrestle them away from her. It was at this point my dad laughed and said something to the effect of wait until they make a fire. Pornography taught me what a shaved, groomed vagina looked like, how to adequately perform oral, how to change positions without pulling out, that I don't prefer fake tits, that S without marriage love is okay, but he looks good. When they come, watching a woman masturbate is insanely awesome. Doggy style is usually great for both of you, and there is a big diverse crazy world out there, and we should all be proud to be part of it, and accept that we're all different and weird in our own way. Since my early formative years I've been told porn is not life, S in life is about connection and all that. So if life is not porn, then porn S is not connection. It actually took me close to 20 years, more than 14, with my current partner to realize you can, and possibly should, fuck your partner, not just make love. I'm an only child, so I tend to care a bit too much about other people's boundaries. I just assume my partner is in life, not porn category. Looking at amateur porn and seeing women really enjoy themselves, I started asking my wife about doing a bit more. Well, turns out she's a freak. Hard pounding with some real porn-esque moves leaves us actually more connected, as she feels more desired when I don't contain myself that much. So yeah, porn is not real life, but some of it really can, and in my case, really should. How work school didn't teach me well enough. Edit. Thanks for all the likes. Just wanna clear up, I couldn't opt out, it was forced on us as part of the curriculum, and I just thought, if we're being forced to learn this, it's probably good or accurate knowledge. I would have rather learned it on my own, not from the teachers. I saw it mentioned in this thread, but for those who may not know, those porn stars do not last as long as the length of the video. There are frequent pauses, and by frequent, I mean a bunch. Lol. So please don't compare yourself to them because 9/10 they are breaking in between positions. The same can be said of how they are able to stay hard continuously due to breaks in pills or a shot, which is absolutely mind-blowing if you have issues. Source: I was a porn actor for years. I learned that men love eye contact when they are being blown. I had been so into the task, I never thought to look up. But I watched a vid and the girl kept looking up, and I thought, I'll try that. I never just look up. Cut to my moment, and I love looking up to see his face full of pleasure. Since then I've been treating porn like I'm studying for an exam. Maybe I'll give him a little pop quiz out of nowhere, and it's kept things spicy. What was once used for myself has become so handy as a module to emulate. With oral or manual stuff, do a nice thorough job. Look excited and happy to do it. Making it feel like a chore or wanting the other person to hurry up and come makes it not worth it. If you don't like doing something, then be open about it. Porn was kind of a cheerleader for me in this situation when I wasn't feeling up to the task. That porn is fake. One night stands suck. Friends with benefits suck. Being in a long-term healthy soul relationship with your BF or girlfriend or wife or husband you love most in the world will literally give you the most bomb-s ever. More orgasms, feeling deeply loved. It's not longer-s, it's a deep intimacy with someone. Sorry if that's all lovey-dovey, just my opinion, and I stand by it. I found the existence of micropenises and extra long clits and learned that some women have a clitoris that is longer than the penis of some men. Anatomy is fascinating. Not from porn, but I think it kind of blew my mind when I found out a fetus is the same until it's about 10 weeks old, including the bundle of nerves that evolves into a clitoris or the head of the penis. I'm in the buried penis category, unfortunately. I often need two hands to pee, one to dig it out of its burrow, the other to get it in a headlock to stop it retreating again. Long clitorises can look quite intimidating. I'm going to play loose with the from porn here. Pornhub is a brilliant resource for medical procedure videos. I learned from Pornhub how to properly do a digital rectal stimulation in paraplegic patients because nobody would actually show me how to do it. I learned how to locate the urethra in obese women for catheterization and how to deal with the bouncy prostate when catheterizing men. I learned how to do a bimanual pelvic and how to translate that into an external exam. When you think about it, it makes sense. They don't restrict nudity, but pretty much every other user upload video platform did back when I was at uni, so 15 years ago-ish. Pornhub videos would show in great detail where I should be looking and what landmarks to use. Some had accompanying lecture-style voice-over and notes at the bottom, but others were clearly just someone showing how to do something, and occasionally some were just fetish porn. The first male cath video I found was clearly porn, but I found another that was medical grade after that. The first one was actually inserted correctly by the way the recipient just got hard and jerked of with the thing inside him after it was inserted, and I'm scarred for life. But the second one was fine. I still tell the newbies even now that if they need an up-close procedural video, they should try. I'm an older guy and I like to watch older couples. I've learned that even someone you might not ordinarily think about in a sexual way, like a plain 60-year-old woman at a bar, could be incredibly shy when naked and actually having s. Do porn comments count? It quiet's a thing, but porn comments being taken over by useful information is a thing, and it's funny. Learned about water hammer arresters on not from porn directly, but from a porn star's AMA. One of the questions was how they get such a close shave down there. She suggested baby oil to get the smoothest shave. I've never gone back. When you leave your wife or girlfriend at the house alone, make sure the plumbing works. Pizza is in the freezer, and she's already been sexually satisfied. I learned the better way eat pussy from Ron Jeremy and Nina Hartley. My previous girlfriends, and now wife, all approve of my education. Not from porn, but a porn star ended up talking with. Said one of the best positions was to start like missionary, but pick up the girl's legs and hold them both in front of you, cross her ankles, and hold them like a pair of milk bottles. Hasn't failed yet. Unironically English, I read a lot of Japanese erotica hentai, read hentai, and there's a lot more in English than in my language. And since this art form can be enjoyed even with a minimal understanding of the dialogue, well, actually learned more English that way than I'm comfortable with admitting. That big dicks jackrabbiting women is actually painful. A lot of impressionable young minds probably buy the premises of porn, but I knew as a teen that those women were not enjoying that and were faking for the camera. Many would prefer a smaller dick at a slower pace. I don't think I've learned anything useful, but you can definitely tell who's fucking for a check and who's actually having ass. The people just screwing for the camera for some reason are never wet, but they say they are. The guy will stick their dick in them, but it always comes out dry along with the over-the-top dramatic fake moaning. I thought I needed to make those noises and say those generic porn phrases in bed, but I felt silly. In my 20 seconds before you could swipe right, I met up and this Rondo from AOL. He was tall, dark, handsome, and had the smallest wiener ever seen. But after a few drinks and his cute personality came through, I gave it a go. He was great. Later online he brought it up. Asked if I was surprised he could throw down that good with such a small dick. Said he knew that if he was ever going to be a playa he had to learn how to use what he had. So he watched a bunch of porn, practice things that worked, and keeps up his cardio. I'll never forget the time a micro penis did me just right. And it proves it ain't the size of the boat. You just need way less skill if you're sailing a luxury motor yacht. Where the clit is and how to treat her. Never had a single complaint about missing or not knowing what I'm doing. Bonus. Key and Peele taught me the alphabet trick. Write out the letters of the alphabet, a Z, with your tongue. And if she pulls your hair, stick to that letter. Want to know how to please a woman during foreplay? Lesbian porn is a great place to start. Watch with a pen and a paper instead of a sock and tissues once in a while. I actually learned how to give fellatio very well from porn. Obviously, it still takes practice, but the past 2 years every guy has said I gave them the best head they've ever had. I'm casual, I've never had any interest in no sexual thoughts at all. I'd heard people talk about but I never have much thought at what it actually meant. I watched porn for the first time when I was 20 and realized for the first 20 years of my life, I actually had no idea what the physical act of was. It just never occurred to me to find out what it was. Honestly shows just how shit ed is. If you're horny and don't have a girlfriend, just hang around the laundromat and wait until some cute girl gets herself stuck in the dryer. I learned that you had to repeatedly thrust in and out. I thought was just sticking your dick inside her and leaving it there. Good thing I learned that one early before embarrassing myself. I learned how to masturbate. Never masturbated before watching porn. I never knew how to, and growing up, I was taught that masturbation was a sin. I learned that women could come without the need of a man. I kid you not, my biology textbook taught that a woman orgasmed when triggered by a man orgasming inside her. I don't know how that textbook could be absolutely wrong, but again, good thing I learned otherwise before I embarrass myself and ruin my life. I learned how to dress more stylish. Growing up, my biological mother controlled what I wore and her choices of clothes were horrible to say the least. I was the kid in high school who wore short-sleeve plaid shirts buttoned all the way up and tucked in my long cargo trousers while sporting a yee-ass haircut that she instructed the barber to give me, and that was me years later. So thanks Blackdraw for helping me out a bit with that. I learned the importance of grooming myself down there. I learned where the clit is and how to pleasure a woman. I'm not perfect in this, and I still have more to learn, but I still find it unfathomable that guys will watch porn and still not absorb any tips on how to make women come. I learned I had phimosis. How cookies, temporary files, and hidden folders work, also where exactly they are all stored on a PC. Honestly, this may have sparked my deeper interest in computers and slightly responsible for my career choice and how I make a living to this day. As a teenager, I watched a clip of the guy going above and beyond, which I now see as a basic requirement, not beyond, for the woman. He seemingly legitimately gave her orgasm after orgasm before penetrating her. He took his time with oral, kissed her body, teased her a little in a passionate way, so it seemed, and didn't pound her to death like you often see in porn. After that, I took my time, made my partner the center of attention, and made sure she had fun first. It made my sexual experiences better for both myself and my partner ever since. This would really be a lesson only learned vicariously, but many years ago now, there was a pastoral intern working with us at the church where I was the pastor. He, a man in his 50s, had a few psychological issues to deal with, one of which was anger. He was really working on it, and one of which was a self-professed addiction to some very specific porn, which he claimed to be working on. As a part of his internship, he was required to lead a significant conversation for the church community, and he chose to discuss a group decision-making process that could help the church figure out what to do next for a local mission focus. He opted to do this during a potluck dinner presentation that he would make for everyone. PowerPoint was the plan. He hooked his laptop up to all the relevant cables for our projection system, restarted his computer so it would be recognized by the system, and walked away to visit with a table of elderly women sitting together across the room. Lo and behold, the Windows startup chime was followed by the beginning of a wonderful amateur porn flick starring several enormously endowed and very playful women who all apparently knew each other quite intimately. This was followed by a gigantic gasp that erupted around the room, then some of the most earnest, embarrassed laughter I ever heard. In addition to learning to be extra careful about whatever might wind up on my computer in the future, I also learned never to underestimate the acceleration and top speed of a grotesquely overweight middle-aged man. My penis and a number of other men's is perfectly average, if not decently large. You know how many absolute hammers you see in porn? It can be rough. But there's the other side of the coin where you see dudes in porn with relatively normal, or even small dicks, and you realize that they're the majority, not the other way around. It was a fantastic realization that made me a whole lot more comfortable and confident in my own soul appearance. Might be buried, but okay. I lived in a very conservative family, so ed wasn't a thing till a very long time, and it was laughably incomplete. But I had some lewd teens in my class who had started watching porn early, and through the things they did and other stuff, I realized the penis goes into some hole. Now, I did not know about the existence of a vagina, so I assumed that it was in the ass, the only hole I knew about. The first time I saw a porn video, I was surprised to see the vagina and the make actor using it for S. It took me some time fumbling through different sources to actually get an idea what S is, what is it for, and to know the basics everyone should know about. Finally, the ed I received years later was when I feigned ignorance in a textbook talking about human reproduction and asked my mother. The ensuing conversation was as short, uninformative, and conservative as could